Rakai, a town nestled in the southern part of Uganda and known as the capital of the Kooki Kingdom, holds a dark and haunting reputation that few dare to explore. Stories of cannibalism and voodoo envelop this region, painting it as one of the most dangerous places in Africa. But are these stories real, or merely myths born from fear and misunderstanding? This is the question that lies at the heart of our journey, one that takes us deep into the shadows of Rakai in search of truth. Our adventure begins in Kampala, Uganda's bustling capital city, where the atmosphere is lively yet filled with the undercurrent of anxiety surrounding what lies ahead. The road to Rakai stretches around 4 to 6 hours southward, winding through Uganda's countryside and marked by the transition from urban life to remote wilderness. Our first step is a practical one, preparing for the journey with essentials like fuel and supplies, setting out with cautious optimism and a watchful eye. The looming presence of Rakai's reputation for cannibalism and witchcraft is palpable. Conversations with locals lead to confessions of fear and warnings. Mothers plead for safety, prayers for protection fill the air, and every stranger is met with suspicion. The fear is not unfounded, as tales have circulated for generations, passed down from elders who speak of ancient rituals and modern horrors. Cannibalism here is said not to be merely barbaric practice, but a deeply woven tapestry of initiation, magic, and survival. One local explains that no one is born a cannibal. It is a transformation brought about by initiation rites, where one is forced or persuaded to consume human flesh, often through enchanted soups or meals laced with voodoo spells. These rituals bind the initiate spiritually, casting a shadow that possesses the craving for human meat. The flesh itself, once consumed, is said to become addictive, and with each subsequent act, the individual sinks deeper into the cannibalistic tradition, driven by dark forces beyond comprehension. The road itself, an artery through the heart of Uganda, turns treacherous as we inch closer. The once fertile and verdant landscapes grow sparse and bleak, the soil's pale, almost ghostly hue adding to the eerie atmosphere. Signs of life become fewer, and darkness falls quickly as local inhabitants shutter their homes, fearful of what the night brings. As we travel into the heart of Rakai, the locals share stories of voodoo magic, vehicles that suddenly stall on remote paths, unseen forces cloaking the land in darkness, and apparitions that take animal forms to lure travelers astray. The town's periphery hides these secrets, where shadows move with malevolent purpose, and the line between myth and reality blurs. Despite these fears, we find pockets of human warmth and normalcy. The hotel where we spend our nights, surprisingly well kept and peaceful, stands in stark contrast against the wilderness outside. The hotel offers a reprieve, a place to regroup and consider the stories we have heard and the dangers that might await us beyond its walls. With the dawn, exploration begins anew. We engage with local guides familiar with Rakai's hidden histories, men who speak openly of the practices that outsiders fear to acknowledge. Cannibalism, they say, is more than a tale here. It persists in neighboring villages, passed down through generations, and concealed beneath layers of secrecy. It is entwined with witchcraft, where spells and rituals ensure the loyalty of the initiate to the dark path. We hear chilling accounts of how human flesh is procured, not only from graves disturbed by unseen forces, but from those unfortunate enough to fall victim to the canny trickery of locals. Travelers seeking directions may find themselves led to ambushes where the horrors that legend forecasts come true. Yet this cannibalism is not an act born solely of desperation or savagery. It is embedded within a belief system, a dark pact that shapes the lives and deaths of those involved. It is said that families involved in this practice are often wealthy and powerful in their communities. Their merciful and pitiful facade acts as a lure, masking the sinister underbelly of their true nature. The economics of this grotesque trade resemble any other market, where human meat is rare, costly, and guarded among insiders. Those outside the practice are kept at arm's length, given no access to the product, preserving secrecy and control. On visits to the homes of reputed cannibal families, we glimpse the desolate landscapes they occupy, areas marked by suspicion and fear. Some lands once belonging to these families have been sold off, transformed to serve new purposes as communities attempt to reclaim and rebuild. One of the gravest incidents recounted is the murder and consumption of a pregnant woman, a crime that shocked the community into action. The perpetrating family was arrested, highlighting some measure of justice amid the chaos, but the scars remain. The practice continues in varying degrees, hidden and unspoken but widely acknowledged. Stories abound of children from cannibal families bringing human flesh or soup to unsuspecting peers, spreading the curse through spiritual possession and physical transformation. Ritual cutting and application of medicines imbued with supernatural power induce strange behaviors. Sleepwalking, naked wanderings, and other hallmarks of witchcraft possession. Human flesh is said to be prepared and seasoned as finely as any other meat, considered a delicacy within these closed circles. To others, it is an ultimate taboo, an abomination that defies understanding. Throughout our journey, we meet those who remain skeptical, questioning the veracity of some tales while acknowledging the cultural power of these narratives. The mixture of myth, fear, and reality is difficult to unravel, but the human cost is undeniable. In the end, Rakai presents a tableau of humanity's darker depths, alongside resilience and mystery. It challenges us to look beyond sensationalism and confront the complex interplay of tradition, poverty, belief, and survival that shapes life here. This exploration is not simply about uncovering shocking truths, but about bearing witness to a world where ancient fears persist in the modern age, a place where the shadows of the past still stretch long into the present and the future. If this story moved or intrigued you, share it widely and join the conversation. Understanding places like Rakai helps illuminate the broader human condition and the wide spectrum of life experiences across our world. Thank you for joining this journey into the shadows and mysteries of Uganda's Kooki Kingdom.